have to go.
Oh, man. Now, you're not the real deal, which is a good thing. But tell us why it's important to dress up as though you are.
Because Ostrich Fest.
The poor babies behind me. Oh, my goodness. It is May 20th. Drea Humphrey here with Rebel News as promised, back at Universal Ostrich Farms in Edgewood, BC, bringing you a story continuously that defies logic and science when it comes to the Canadian Food Inspection Agency's plans to continue going through with culling, aka slaughtering, a flock of healthy, robust, vibrant ostriches. There's some of them behind me. Many of you know this story. If you don't, we have a special website that has all the background called SaveTheOstriches.com. But in short, despite immense pushback, we're talking a unifying pushback between local politicians on the provincial level as well. Even Premier David Eby came out and said he's not happy with the CFIA's.
Let's take that away from the specific instant case and just talk about that generally. It's been a consistent experience that farmers have had with federal agencies. Devastating for this family, for this farm, for these folks who are trying to build a life for themselves. And I hope the federal government looks very carefully at appropriate compensation to ensure they're made whole.
Other politicians as well, conservative and independents, have come forward. And as you can see, if you didn't already know, the public, the people are outraged. They've come in protests in camps, camping up on the property here to stand against the culling that unfortunately can take place at any minute and any time. Now, I made the 8-hour trek overnight. It was a nice drive in the sense that no one was around, but I'm kind of tired right now. And I wanted to be able to be your boots on the ground here for you guys, because any moment we can see this threat to property rights, this threat to farming sovereignty, this threat to freedom in science be acted out senselessly. Like I said, despite so much pushback. And so I want to be here to make sure that the world sees it. And for that reason, we had to take some extra steps. I was already here for 4 days. There is literally no connection issue for me. I mean, I could text message people and things like that, but when it came to filming something, uploading it, sending it back to my colleagues so that they could edit it and get it up, it was a painful process, and it wasn't able to be done here. I was staying at a motel that's close by, but let's face it, when the Canadian Food Inspection Agency's hitmen show up, I could be over at the motel trying to upload footage. It just wasn't practical. And so to ensure that I could be here, I have to camp with these protesters. That's what makes sense. So we have gone ahead and rented a camper van. I'm going to actually show you it because it's kind of cool. Because you know what? It's even extra cool because this was all coming together last minute, and the company I reached out said, we don't have the van you're looking for, which was a lower modest budget. So we can be respectful with our donors, everybody who's donating at SaveTheOstriches.com to help our coverage here. He said, but we have our best model, and since no one's rented it out and you're looking for it today, you can have it for the same price. So I got a pretty nice van here, but they didn't tell me that it's one of those the steering wheel's on the right. Like, you got to tell, especially a woman, you got to make that clear. So I, overnight, drove here for 8 hours. There wasn't many cars, so that was good. I was able to practice that way, and now I have mastered right-hand driving. But for those of you who have chipped in to cover the expenses that we already incurred, thank you very much for doing that. So again, I can be your eyes and ears here at Universal Ostrich Farm. And here's the baby. Here it is. I'm going to open it up for you. Look at that. You got the leather seats. This is a little bit nicer than the normal budget. And there's that right-hand steering wheel. But the real magic, my friends, here's the real magic. All right, look here. Okay, that's the bed there. But right here, my friends, is none other. I better not pick it up with one hand, but right in there is Elon Musk's Starlink. Okay? The Starlink has arrived! Yay! I will be able to work! And that is exactly what I needed to do my job properly here. So I'm going to go ahead and set that up so that I can be efficient, so that I can be on guard and report to you whether it be the tragic slaying of these ostriches and maybe the future of farming sovereignty in Canada, or another miracle comes out. Because let's face it, the two miracles that these farmers received, the emergency injunction, well, that one occurred the day before the call was initially supposed to take place. And the last one, the regional district here in the Kootenays, Central Kootenays, unanimously blocking the CFIA from their plans, which was to bring the carcasses after they killed the birds to the landfill. They unanimously shut that down the day before that was going to happen. So you never know what could happen. And that's another reason I want to be here. There's been some miraculous type wins. So again, please go to savetheostriches.com if you haven't already, to help cover our expenses that are ongoing. I'm more prepared to be here for the long haul if I need to be. And also, I'm going to show you some of the interactions that I had right now, some of the interviews. Oh, but before I do that, I want to say one thing. The mainstream media has been covering this story as well. And I got to say, for the most part, I mean, I've done a lot of driving and I've been, like I said, having those struggles. So I haven't been able to see what's online as much as I normally do. But from what I can see, they're pretty fair. They're pretty decent, except for the Tyee. And I think I should call them out. Look at this article that they put up where they try to make this look like some sort of far-right extremist event that is going on. And that's another reason why it's important for Rebel News to be here, because if there is some sort of stand, which is what I hear is going to happen, a peaceful stand is what I hear is going to happen if authorities or whoever shows up to kill these birds, that could very easily be twisted. And so it looks like the Tyee is already doing that. Look at this article. It reads, "How a BC ostrich farm sparked a far-right crusade. Convoy supporters and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. have rallied around the farm, which is facing a cull of its 400-strong flock." And then lower down it says, "A volunteer researcher with a grassroots group called Unmask the Right says he's concerned about the involvement of high-profile convoy protesters and people who have threatened violence." There is no violence happening here. And that's another reason why I need to be here, to be your eyes and ears at this protest and whatever is about to take place. So again, another important reason for me to be here for you. Now, here's some of the interviews from some of the people you haven't seen me speak to that have come to stand on guard for the freedom to farm at Universal Ostrich Farms. Oh, man. Now, you're not the real deal, which is a good thing. But tell us why it's important to dress up as though you are.
Because Ostrich Fest.
How was Ostrich Fest? What did I miss?
It was a lot of fun. There was, great music, great fun, lots of laughs, lots of good energy, shall I say, and commitments to maintaining the objective. And it's going to keep building.
I see you have your proud member of a small fringe minority. Were you involved at all in the trucker convoy too?
Oh yes, my mom at the time, she was 86, and I had to go to Nacasta to support her when we found out what Trudeau did, and it was really hard for both of us. We held each other and hugged each other. So when my mom saw what was happening here, she did want to come, but she couldn't. So she put it out, and she was talking to my brother, and she said, all we need now is the bouncy castles.
Yeah.
So I'm putting it out there.
What happened in the federal court when you guys were doing the
Their expert witnesses, our expert witnesses, were not challenged and not cross-examined because I think they just had too much to offer. We cross-examined all of their expert witnesses, but then we ended up with our expert witnesses' reports being struck from our record. So if we're talking about truth and science here, how does that, we need to protect that as being a factor in the solution, not swiping it from records. This is where all expert witnesses from all around the world, all of their expertise should come into play, not swiping them from the record. So it was very unfortunate. It was really disappointing.
So you came all the way out from Alberta. Tell us why.
Well, basically because we have a poultry farm and we raise lots of different poultry and different types of animals on our farm. And basically, like, a lot of people follow me and I'm pretty well known in our community. And I basically came out here because I want people to be strong enough to be able to stand with these people, because what's going on is completely wrong. And if we don't stand up, they're going to come after us too. And so people just really need to understand that. And so, yeah, and I just want to support the family and support what they're doing, because it's just amazing, all of the things that they're doing, and I think it's super important.
Well, look who just showed up. Familiar face to Rebel News, usually on the women's rights beat, and I mean women when I say that. So what brought you out here today?
I've been following this story online for a while, and I think it's the free speech and the private property ownership issue that's real to me. I feel like this is, if we let this one go, then a lot of farmers will suffer from that. I'm from the UK, where I grew up in the countryside around like mad cow and all these burning piles of cows, and just watching that kind of overreach and destroying the whole herd if just one of them's ill. And so I feel moved by the story of the ostriches, but also more broadly about like government overreach and our private property rights.
And so I'm sure, obviously, everyone here is aware the CFIA has claimed it's going to go through with it. What do you make of it? Are you still holding hope that some miraculous event will occur to prevent that, or have the protesters and those on guard sort of shifted to how are we going to respond when the hitmen show up?
They've already stumbled now with the regional district's ruling that they won't accept birds that they can't show are sick, which is the sensible option, right? So it's clear that they don't have the moral or scientific high ground. This has gained international attention around the world. We're hearing from the ostrich farms of South Africa. They're enraged. So, yeah, I think that the pressure is growing. Even our beloved Premier, Mr. David Eby, right? So this is an issue that should bring all people with any common sense or humanity together over this. And I think we can prevail. I'm confident of it. That's why I'm here. We have some tricks up our sleeves too.
And including the expertise of you guys, the farmers. I just learned, I didn't know this, but you guys have been farming ostriches since the 90s, right?
Yes, it's been a lot of years, and that's why I said, I keep saying for the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, and on a world scale, we need to keep our experts the experts. And the experts in our industries are our cattle farmers, our poultry farmers. They are the experts in their industry, and we should be consulting with them about new solutions and how do we create the stabilization in our food security, not threaten it, and keep our heroes the heroes that they are.
Well, being out here, I'm learning how much it takes to run a farm. So you've put a lot aside to come out here, that's for sure. How long are you going to stay out here?
Just until tomorrow morning. Yeah. We have a farm, so I have to get back. But
And what do you think? Is there anything else kind of along this line that has been happening to farmers, sort of where it seems like there's government overreach that just doesn't make sense? Is there anything else?
Just kind of all of it. Just like, I feel like farmers, like, they're not even feeling safe about getting their animals tested now. Like, we used to be able to send away our birds, like, if you have random deaths, you'd be able to send them away. And now if you do, it's like they have to come out to the farm and all of these extra things. And so we can't take our judgment on things and be able to build immunity in our farms and things like that. So that's a huge concern for me. And another reason this hits home for me is that herd immunity and just immunity in general. I also am in the natural health field, and I know how the immune system works, and it's not any different with animals.
if you appreciate that Rebel News gets our boots on the ground to bring you reports you can trust about government overreach, then please consider supporting our efforts to do so here in Edgewood, BC by donating what you can at savetheostriches.com. And you can also, in one click, send our pre-written email to Canadian Food Inspection Agency's officials asking them to back down.